Today, what was the top corporate story of the last 12 months? Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
Good morning, Adam Lang.
Good morning, Michael.
Okay, in just 5 minutes, we are each going to put forward what we think was the top corporate story of the last 12 months, and at the end, we are going to decide a winner. Sean, take it away. What have you got?
Well, there was plenty to choose from over the last 12 months, but I think the reinvention of BHP, the big Australian, really is the top corporate story. Easily the biggest change for this organisation in decades, and it tried to become a future-looking company. Now, it decided to merge its oil and gas business with Woodside Petroleum. It's trying to sell its coal assets, basically getting out of those brown industries, looking towards green industries. It invested around $8 billion in creating a potassium fertiliser or potash business. Now, food is a future industry. If they can provide inputs to nourish food, then suddenly you're a future industry. That's what BHP wants to become. It's also ended its dual listing structure in the UK and shifted its prime listing back to Australia. As a result of the big jump in iron ore prices, BHP, along with the other big miners, paid out massive dividends to shareholders during the year. But really, the thing that ultimately we'll look back on in 20 times as the biggest occurrence this year is the change in BHP. Easily a winner.
Sean, do you think that something like that puts pressure on other companies to do the same?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a market leader. And just the fact that they've actually gone out and said, no, we believe in a green future, means others have to follow.
Okay, I'm just gathering some extra information to help make an informed decision about today's winner.
Yeah.
Adam, what have you got?
Crown Resorts. Now, this one's at the top because of its scandal. So picture yourself in Barangaroo in Sydney. This huge hotel, big, shiny monolith is built, all resting upon a high roller casino license. The building's nearing completion and they go for that license. And in the New South Wales government, they say no. And so on that basis, a national company with gambling interests all around our country has its whole existence threatened. We've got a Victorian Royal Commission. We've got a WA Royal Commission. We've got takeover attempts coming from Blackstone and The Star. This company has built a huge hotel in the hope of getting a high roller license in Sydney and virtually toppled itself. It is a scandal.
It's a very good story, and the involvement of a billionaire in James Packer really does help just give it a little bit of star power, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That little bit of extra cachet.
Okay, I like that. That's a good story, I got to say. Michael, what do you think the top corporate story of the year was?
Well, I'm going to just straight up cheat on this one, and I'm going to group together a whole bunch of stories into one and hope that that's enough to get it across the line. I am grouping together all of the big mergers and takeovers in the last 12 months into one, and I will say that all the M&A activity from the last 12 months is the biggest story. This is why. For starters, you've got Square, now known as Block, buying Afterpay for $39 billion. Santos and Oil Search merging to create a $23 billion giant. Sydney Airport selling to a consortium led by IFM investors for $22 billion. There were a bunch of others too, ranging in size. M&A activity was breaking records this year. Key to it, a couple of factors: cheap money, interest rates so low so that companies could afford to go into debt to make some big moves. And really, the involvement of the super funds was a really big factor here. Huge amounts of cash just sloshing around looking for a home, which really turned 2021 into a deal frenzy. So I'm just getting all of those stories, every merger, every takeover from this year, grouping them all into one super story, which is the top corporate story of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it really was an incredible year for the amount of money sloshing around the place trying to find a home. Now, Adam, I think it's your turn to decide who's the winner. Is it BHP? Is it Crown? Or is it all the mega deals that occurred this year, which is actually cheating, for the record, Michael, to put those all together?
Okay, so
I'll own that.
Mega deals, good, but it's not so exceptional in terms of history. Crown, look, gambling and scandal is not particularly exceptional, really. So I'd have to say that BHP's structural evolution is the biggest corporate story of the last 12 months.
Adamski.
Oh,
I'm conceding defeat on my own argument, which really hurts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do a Donald Trump and refuse to accept the decision here. But anyway, thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Michael.
That's it for today. Make sure you hit follow or subscribe on the podcast so that you get the next episode automatically. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was The Fast Five by Fear and Greed.